what about like the first big show?
Man, bro, the first big show. Okay, so I was 17 years old, and they were closing. I don't know if you remember the J.A.R.
Yes.
Okay, so they were about to close it down, and they were bringing down the Last Comic Standing tour. And one of the guys couldn't make the tour, so they asked on the local radio station, hey, who wants to fill in for this guy, right? Y yo le hablé al DJ que era camarada mío, Mike Quinn, and I called him, hey bro, dude, is anybody calling for that contest? He's like, nobody's even called, bro. Like, nobody wants to do comedy. I'm like, dude, I'll do it. So he gets me on this show to be in front of the Last Comic Standing tour. It's packed, bro. It's like 3,000 people. It's gonna be the last show that the Villarreal is gonna be hosting, and it's a comedy show. Hasta el tronco, bro. Dude, and I don't know anything about the comedy rules or nothing. And there's a big rule in comedy that you're not supposed to run the light. And the light is when, like, your time is up, there'll be somebody on the side that's giving you like a light that lets you know, hey, time to wrap it up. Well, I didn't know that, right? And I was supposed to do 5 minutes. My 5 minutes turned into 30. Because I was killing it. I was crushing it. I was fucking crushing it. And I'm just like, hey, having a good time. And the guys over here on the side, hey, like, and I'm looking at them like, what? Like, you don't see I'm killing it up here? Like, let me go. Come on. And no, but I broke like one of the biggest rules of comedy in one of my first big shows. And then, but I talked to the headliner, which is now a real good friend of mine. I respect him highly. He's one of the only Latino comedians to be invited on BET like 13 times.
You can say his name if you want.
Juan Villarreal, yeah. Shout out to Juan Villarreal, old school comedian from Def Comedy Jam back on HBO. He used to tour with Cedric the Entertainer. He was the only Mexican on the tour, man. Cedric the Entertainer, Bernie Mac, and all those guys, and then Juan Villarreal. And so he was the headliner of that show, and that's where we met. And then to this day, we're real good friends. Now he respects me highly, which is crazy because I never thought I'd get the respect of that guy.
Yeah.
And that guy thinks I'm one of the funniest guys ever. So to see the guys that I grew up with, even to have worked with like the guys like Paul Rodriguez and all the Latin kings of comedy, I've worked with all those guys. I've not only worked with them, but I'll be honest, this is not just me saying this. Is my fan base will say that I outshined their performance with my performance, and I love doing that. It's my job every time I go on stage to shine as hard as I can because that's how I make a living. I'm not there to pull punches, and I've been asked to pull punches, and I say no, and that's why I don't get asked to go on tours. And
tell us what pull punches means.
Pulling punches means like I'll give you a real good example, like Rob Schneider. You guys know him?
Yeah, you can do it.
He was coming down here and he said, hey man, like, I don't want you to talk about this, I don't want you to talk about this, and I don't want you to talk about that. And so he's telling you like what jokes he doesn't want you to do because he knows that it's gonna outshine him. Or it might be like too dirty and he wants to do the dirty material. So he doesn't want to, they're asking you to curtail your set. And I can do a clean set, but I'll still be funnier. So the problem becomes is like now I'm being funnier with my clean set and he'll be like, well, don't do that joke and don't do this joke either because it's too big. And it's like, well, bro, no. And when I say no, they're like, well, then I'm not gonna take you on tour. Because I don't give a fuck, you know? And that's where, because I have that La Jolla mentality, in LA, there's a lot of, you have to do a lot of back bending. A lot of back bends to get into the Hollywood industry and stuff. And I don't do back bending, bro. I got bad knees and I don't do back bending, bro. I ain't about to get on my knees for nobody. And I'm from Texas, so I gotta represent that shit, you know? A huevo, I'm not only from Texas, but from South Texas, from the Valley Mas Gacho. I have to be a man of my word. I have to be a man of my guns and not be a lambe chile, you know. That's not my style. So that's why you haven't seen me in TV shows and stuff like that. They actually offered me. Do you guys know about some like subculture stuff in the comedy world, like in the Illuminati stuff, like the dark stuff? Yeah, I don't know if you want to get into that, but it's hardcore stuff. But in show business, this is like known stuff in show business. Trust me, I run with these guys. I know like the top level guys. They say that there's this cult, right? And when you get part, like let me ask you a question. How many famous comedians can you think of that have done movies? That they've been paid millions of dollars, famous comedians, right? Just name off a few.
Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey, perfect example. Have you ever seen him in a dress? They put him in a
Yeah.
They put him in a pink tutu.
That's right.
Yeah, they put him in a pink tutu. Think about another comedian.
The one who committed suicide.
Robin Williams.
Robin Williams.
Mrs. Doubtfire. He's been in a dress. Who else? And I don't believe that Robin Williams committed suicide, by the way. So let's throw that out. It's part of the Illuminati sacrifice where they give you this contract, and then when it's done, when they need you to be a distraction, to distract you from political stuff going on, Robin Williams hung himself. He was depressed, but it was just, that was the end of your contract. Hey, they paid you millions of dollars, they needed you for political fodder, they offed your contract, they hung you. Same thing that's what's going on with all these guys that are killing themselves.
It was just like that when Dave Chappelle was asked to do that, and he's like, you know what, I'm out, and he went somewhere.
That's exactly why he took off, bro, because, like all the guys, all the main comedians that you can think of that have been in a dress, there's a code for that. There's a subculture that says they made him their bitch. Like they demasculated him and put him in a dress, and they're showing him off to his buddies now in a movie.
Yeah.
Think about the Wayans brothers and White Chicks. Not only did you put them in a dress, you took away their blackness from them, bro.
It's like initiation style.
That's heavy duty, and they call it in show business. It's called sitting on the director's chair, and you literally have to take it up the butt to get into that club.
I can understand.
And they offered me a role where I was gonna wear a dress, bro, that Gabriel Iglesias turned down. So they said, Gabriel Iglesias turned down this role, and do you want it? And I looked at it and I go, and I'll tell you exactly what it was. I have the emails to prove it. You can call me conspiracy theories and all that. I have the emails and all that. It was for a knockoff of, like, you know how Martin Lawrence, think about Martin Lawrence, Big Mama's House, right? It was a play off of that Mexican version called, instead of Big Mama, called Tia Juana. And it's a Mexican, get a Mexican dude, put on a dress on him. Gabriel Iglesias said no to that. Why do you think he said no to that? Because he knows what's up, dude. He's doing his comedy tours, he's making his own money, he does his own productions. He doesn't need to be anybody's bitch. And big respect for him, bro, for denying that. But I took that as a big red flag. Este vato denied it, there must be a reason why he denied it, and I said no to it myself. And I'm not even shitting you, they said, well, you don't take this role, we're not gonna work with you in Hollywood. And that's the leverage game they play. But at the same time, what's worth more, my integrity or money that's paper, you know?
Yeah.
So it's a very tricky business.
It is, it's hugely tricky, dude. And that's why anybody that's a fan of me, anybody that follows me on Facebook, Instagram, like, dude, you're part of a grassroots movement. All these other guys, dude, go to their Facebook pages. Go to George Lopez's Facebook page, go to all their numbers. Dude, look at the engagement that I'm getting on my page versus the number that they're getting on their page. Even a page like Eminem. Eminem has 88 million followers, okay? You go to his Facebook page, look how many comments he's getting. He's getting like 100 comments. I get more than that, cagando palo. You know what I'm saying? And I don't have anywhere near 88 million followers, but that lets you know that these guys are buying their numbers just to make themselves look more famous than they are. But the real engagement of the fans is where it's at. And I have one of the most supportive fan bases out there, dude. Like the Cagalero Coalition, shout out.
And what tips could you give some of our viewers to, be able to establish that stuff on their own and not be influenced by outsiders that deviate them in a different way? I mean, you managed to get so high on your own.
Man, the number one thing that I can tell you guys is to understand how Facebook works. And understand if you're building your own brand, it's going to be a hard grassroots style movement because now they're jumping on everything. Everything is being censored. Especially if you have something controversial to say, like say you say something about vaccines or something, they're gonna make nobody see your stuff. So you want to put stuff up there that's really that's gonna get engagement. Okay, so if anybody that's watching, think about an engagement post, right? Instead of just like you're telling somebody how they should think, now you're asking them what they think. You get me what I'm saying? So when I put up a post, instead of me talking smack like aggressively, I'm now asking questions to get that engagement. That's what's really feeding your algorithm when you, and then I'm gonna give you some secrets. You want some secrets, bro?
That's a really good one, by the
Yeah,
way.
but I'm gonna give you some secrets right here, bro. Get your some secrets, dude. Oh my God, you're gonna be able to run this. Yeah, for real. Anybody that's listening to this and you want to grow your Facebook game, get yourself 10 to 20 friends and put them in a message group, okay, that are dedicated to making this, like let's say for example this show, go big. 10 people that they're dedicated. As soon as you hit post on this video, you hit post in their message and say, hey, the video just dropped. Go drop 10 comments each on that video. Cool, thumbs up, whatever, an emoji, a smiley face, LOL, awesome. If you get 10 to 20 people to take that and make it a promise that every time you post a video, they're gonna post up 10 comments minimum. You're gonna have right off the gate, right off the bat, as soon as you hit post on your video, you're gonna have 100 comments, 200 comments because of those 10, 20 people. And you do that, in the first minute or so, Facebook is gonna see that and be like, what? We gotta put this out to the masses. We gotta put this out to the masses because it's trending. It's getting so much engagement, but you fooled the robot. You're like, dude, I'm next level. That little group that you, I'm telling you to get 10 to 20 people, I have 150 people in my group. So whenever I drop a post, hey guys, the post is up, go hit comment. Boom, 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 boom. 1,000 comments right out the gate, 1,000 comments in 2-3 minutes. But that's because I have friends that I've told the things that I've just told you about me going up against the Illuminati, me going up against the Hollywood regime, grassroots style movement, and they say, you know what? I can back you up, bro. I can back you up. I'm gonna become part of the little coalition. And anytime you drop something, I'm just gonna drop comments, even if it's a thumbs up, even if it's just a goofy, like now it's gotten so much easier because when you hit comments on Facebook, it gives you little stickers.
Yeah.
Dude, just do yourself a favor and just load up all those stickers and those comments individually. I'm serious.
Our producer has one of his favorite.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And you use that. Now you use that one sticker all the time, it's gonna become your favorites, but then just use all of them. Get the question, you just dropped 6-7 comments, blah, 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 and you help yourself. Now, when somebody interacts on your video, it's highly important that you interact with them. When they drop, oh, cool video, you can go in there and comment, thanks, right? But what'll be even more powerful is if you go in there and ask them a question that'll get them to comment again. So you get little sub-conversations going inside the comments. All those comments that you get going, if you get them to respond over and over again, those count for the overall comments. So one little post that has 10 comments can turn into like 40 comments with all the replies, and you just keep them typing. And you guys respond to each other. Cool, thanks, like, blah, blah, blah. The more engagement that Facebook sees inside the comments, they're gonna boost your ratings, dude. And that's the key. That's the key. I have to do this every day because I'm being censored like crazy because I speak of controversial stuff like vaccines and like conspiracy theories, like, you know, the stuff going on in politics and stuff like that. Sometimes I throw it out there in a real ambiguous way as a joke, but kind of like half truth, half joke type of thing, and they ban me. And every time they ban me on Facebook, it literally costs me tens of thousands of dollars. Because not only am I banned from posting up content, I could care less about posting up content, I'm banned from answering messages where promoters are trying to book me. Hey man, we want you over here in Iowa, here's $5,000, we want to get you over here, and I can't even answer them, I just leave them on red and it makes me look unprofessional. So it literally costs me tens of thousands of dollars every time I get banned. So when people say, hey man, how come you don't put any more comedy? How come you don't put any more jokes? They literally made comedy like a box that you can jump through, smaller, smaller, and smaller, and smaller, because everything is being labeled as offensive, hate speech. Yeah, and so now this is where I'm allowed to play in. But if you come and see a live show, you'll see all the rest, and it's so much fun.
Uncensored.
So how do you work around that?
It's really hard, dude. Every day, every time I create something, it's super like mind-boggling and it takes up a lot of mental power to think of like, man, what can I do to really push that little envelope, right, within that box, and still, every time that I put something up semi-controversial, I'm risking getting banned because they keep their community guidelines very ambiguous. They're like, well, you broke one of the community standards, and they won't tell you which one. And then you read the community standard, it's real vague. Our community standards are here to make a pleasing environment for everybody, and it's like, well, what did I?
And what about YouTube? Is that another outlet
YouTube is an outlet. I have like 25,000 followers right there right now, and it's growing hugely. But then they're going around the same way. They're doing the same thing that Facebook is doing. Instagram is slowly becoming Facebook.
That's great advice that you offered our viewers on how to improve and market their brands.
Yeah,
on social media.
if there's any business owners that are watching this, that are interested in taking social media marketing courses, I actually teach them acá por abajo de la mesa, like, I do marketing consulting for social media, y todo demasiado. Like, I get results, I use my platform to push your platform, and you get likes. It's a win-win. I try to work all my deals where it's a win-win-win. Everybody wins across the board, and that's another reason. If you could always work those deals where you're win-win-win all the way across it, if you're not trying to screw somebody over, you'll always be successful. Remember that.
And I think we're running out of time.
Yeah,
so
thank you guys.
Time flies when you're having fun.
So the conversation was good, man.
Tell us about your future goals. Where do you see yourself in 5 years, 10 years?
Man, okay, so I'm real excited because we have so much stuff working on. My wife and I, we started this company helping people with anxiety, depression, autism, using an essential oils called Epic Oil. It's made after my son because he's autistic, and we were able to help him tremendously. He was injured by vaccines, which is why I talk about vaccines a lot. And the crazy thing is, we have all this stuff working on. I'm working on a podcast, bro, that is going to be so monumentally helpful to people, their health, their wellness, and ultimately, I just want people to get healthy, man. I lost 100 pounds, and usually when somebody from La Jolla loses 100 pounds, it's at the checkpoint. But I've become passionate, especially down here where we have vastly overweight people, diabetes on a rampage, high blood pressure. I love helping people get healthy. I love helping people with their anxiety, their depression. That's why I became a comedian, because I want to help people out. So ultimately, you'll see me making millions of dollars, not even wanting to. But I just love helping people. I love empowering them. I love helping them with their business. I love growing people's businesses. I love growing people as a person, like personal growth, personal development. So I do a little bit, como dice mi mamá, no me muero de hambre. I have all multiple streams of income coming in, not just comedy, but I like it.
And laughing and being happy is very important. I always mention it to my psychology students that the studies show that happy people, they are healthier, they live a longer life. So it's very important to smile, be happy, laugh.
That's right. I have a little saying that I always tell. I actually have a little bracelet on it. I'm not wearing it right now, but it says "Puro positivo, nada negativo."
Exactly. Awesome.
Makes you feel good, right? So if you're watching this, laugh loud, live long, and God bless you guys with an abundance of health and wealth. How about that?
Thank you very much. We appreciate Raymond,
you guys, man,
coming here with your busy schedule.
and
talk the talk.
For more information, check out RaymondIsFunny.com. If you guys have any information or any questions, especially if you want to get your business off the ground, I'd love to help you guys out. So,
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you guys, man. I appreciate it. Talk the talk, baby. Talk the talk.
Rio Grande Valley stars, and he is a star.
Yes,
And we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Bye, guys.